As a tag team in the National Wrestling Alliance, they are Magnum Muscle, Mims, and Dak Draper, two friends who have been through many trials and tribulations together, forming one of the key pillars in the NWA's most stacked division. But today, they face a challenge unlike any other. Today, they face each other. Mims is the NWA World Television Champion. Since capturing the gold, his goal has pivoted from tag team triumph to achieving the TV title's lucky 7, to run, therefore, the gauntlet of the NWA's best. This, of course, includes his partner, Dak Draper, his ally and mentor. But today, they will put their friendship aside because Mims has offered Dak Draper a shot at his hard-earned title in a move that he believes elevates both men in the spirit of competition. This is NWA Powerrr, where history lives and where legends are forged.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hour of Powerrr podcast. My name is Knighton, and I am finally excited to hear the lovely, the delightful, and the delectable Mr. Trey's voice after a week. How are you feeling, buddy?
It has been absolute hell. I came down with the flu on Wednesday night of last week when we were going to record, and it has lasted up until at this very moment. As a matter of fact, just hours and hours ago, finally started to feel better. Spent the night in the hospital Sunday night. This is the sickest I've ever been in my entire life. I'm a 40-year-old man, and I can say with great confidence I have never been this sick in my entire life. COVID, strep throat, stomach bug, whatever you want to call it, all that stuff is nothing compared to the flu. The flu B is type B is what it was officially called. So I will be struggling in this podcast tonight a little bit, perhaps. Please don't hold it against me. We've got great things on the horizon, and hopefully this doesn't happen again. I'm extremely sorry for missing the podcast last week. I know that anybody that's listening understands, but it was truly an experience. I'll just say that.
Yeah, you want to talk about a cluster muck.
Yep.
I do definitely want to give a massive shout out to Gary Horn and the Alliance blog. They had thought about stepping in and assisting me for this last week's episode, but things just couldn't align. So that was that. Never happened. And I had actually recorded about a half hour of last week's episode by my lonesome, and I got tired of listening to me. So I was like, no, we'll just hold off till next week when Trey is back. Because I'm going to be real.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to listen to me for an hour. Nobody. Ain't fucking nobody. So.
Yeah. Well, I would have listened.
Oh, sheesh. But anyway, let's get into tonight's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Match number 1, Mims and Dak Draper. First time I'm actually getting this name right.
That's
Yay,
right.
me. Pat myself on the shoulder. This was for the NWA television title. Honestly, this match was fairly good. I mean,
thought so. It kind of started out really slow, and I'm like, whoa, what do you... I mean, even the announcers called it out. They're like, well, y'all better get to going. I mean, you only got 6:05. So, yeah, but then it built very, very nicely, though, and I think it ended up setting up a lot, too. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like the Magnum handshake at the beginning to get us started off was really good. A good show of respect, although the announcers were like, that looked a little weird and didn't look very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Deals attempted a impression of Mr. Mims, but failed terribly. Danny, please don't quit your day job. That was
Yeah,
terrible.
it was bad.
One part in the match that I thought was actually kind of a like, okay. When I thought Dak got dropped on his head.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
And then right into a headlock on Mims. I was like,
I thought that
okay.
was really cool. That was like a spot that I don't think I've ever really even seen.
No, or if you do, it's a once in a blue moon spot, honestly.
Yeah.
And then Dak attempting several pins, but not coming up with anything. It was a decent back and forth, I would say, although Dak had more control than Mims did.
And where will they go from here? Are we going to see another rematch? Does that count as another successful title defense?
No, it doesn't, because it was a draw.
Okay.
But
I like that better. I think that he should have to defeat his opponents in that 6:05 time limit.
And I did like the finish of this match. There was no winner. There was no loser. But you saw a little bit of something click in Mims. He looked frustrated.
Yeah. And I think it tells a good story that these guys were in a tag team together. And most of the time, the television time limit on the TV title benefits a heel more. Whereas the face is building up into the time limit draw, and he's trying to get that pin before he runs out of time, and you think he's got him, and he gets really, really close, and then the time limit cuts out. So this is an interesting way of the way they booked it, having these two guys, both faces, and the time running out. I feel like that it's building towards, of course, another rematch between the two.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to hate that. I think they deserve a little more time than 605, but given the limits of it being the television title, it's kind of what they got to work with. If it was a non-title match, 110%, you could definitely get more out of that.
Yeah, definitely. I could see, like I said, another rematch between the two, where maybe we see another time limit draw, and this is like a new challenge for Mims. Can I beat my partner, this guy I've tagged with for a couple of years now, or a few years now? I want to see this match again, and I want to see Mims finally get that win.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Mims and Dak going to the draw was probably the best solution out of everything, because the team is not broken up. So it's what is next for not only Dak, but
there's so many
Mims.
directions you can go. I mean, you could turn one of them heel, and out of frustration and not able to get the win in the time limit draw, or there's a lot of different directions you could go with this. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that they're doing something with Mims as well. They're planting some kind of potential big match between the two.
And it's just a matter of time and seeing what is next for Mims, Dak, and Magnum Muscle.
Yep. We will find out soon.
All right, on to promo number 1 of the night. Aaron Stevens with brunt force trauma.
I love the way he said it too.
Oh, I kind of drew a blank for a minute on the fixers. I was like, who the fuck are the fixers again? Because,
I did the same thing. It took me a minute. I'm like, huh? The fixers have been kicking ass in NWA. What?
Yeah, and then I had to, have that come to Jesus moment. I was like, oh, yep. I know who we're talking about. And apparently the fixers are getting a shot at the NWA World's Tag Team titles in 2 weeks.
Former U.S. tag champions as well.
But like Aaron Stevens said, 2 weeks is not enough time to prepare for blunt force trauma. With Damage being the faceless stare of domination, and Carnage's identity is the ruins that lay at his feet. And we've seen it time and time again with blunt force trauma, the ability and their destructiveness that they have. Who's going to stop them?
I don't know. You have this deep tag division. I'm always talking about every single week. You've got the potential of the Funstruction brothers or whatever. You've got Magic Inc. You've got, oh my God, man, you've got a lot of different tag teams in this. I mean, now you got Tim Storm and
Jack Stain.
Jack Stang, yeah. So I mean, you've got a really deep tag division, and I like how they just keep building these guys. And I guess we're gonna see Murdoch and Knox back together at some point, or I don't know where they're going in that direction because they appeared to have turned Murdoch heel a couple weeks ago. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Well, I think we're not going to see Knox for a while because he's currently still out with a legitimate injury. I think it's his shoulder or something in the shoulder
He was
area.
advertised for a event coming up, though, was he not? That might be the January 14th show, and maybe he'll be back by then. I don't know.
Well, I mean, which show are you talking about?
Paranoia?
Well, they had also announced, well, they didn't announce it, but they showed it on the bottom of the screen when they were announcing certain shows. Viva la Revolucion with
Oh yes,
ECW.
Yep, I saw that.
Scheduled to appear EC3, Gangrel, Bill Alfonso, Thrillbilly Silas Mason, Alex Taylor, Kerry Morton, Martin Stone, QT Marshall, Brian Brock, Eddie Torres, Andre Anderson, and many stars of CCW.
Maybe that is where he is going.
That could be a possibility.
Some of those guys you just announced just left AEW. QT Marshall would be a great addition for NWA. He could, I mean, not only could be an on-air talent, but the guy has proven that he can, manage talents in the back, and he could possibly be a very good addition to NWA, and behind the scenes as well. So I don't know. We'll just have to kind of wait and see on that one.
But here's my question that I'm going to pose to you. Do you think the Fixers have any chance against BFT?
Not in the first match. I'll just say that. I believe that when Blunt Force Trauma finally loses those tag titles, it's going to be a really nice long chase. I don't think it's going to be a tag team that just comes in, boom, takes the tag titles off of them. It's going to be one of those things where they're, they get screwed over several times, kind of like you've seen with other tag teams that have faced Blunt Force Trauma. But eventually somebody's going to, of course, get the win over them.
Yeah, I as much as I like the Fixers, I don't think they're going to have a snowball's chance in hell of taking the titles off of BFT.
No, definitely not in the first match anyways.
I don't think at all, but
or maybe at all, yeah. Aaron Stevens, did you see the recent interview with him?
No, I did not.
In the recent interview, he was, asked about the whole James Mitchell cocaine situation, which he thought it was overblown, just like we pretty much are same opinions. And he talked about how NWA was different from any of the other promotions out there, which we've also talked about, how it's, it's just it's its own thing. It's not, how would I describe WWE and AEW? The AEW has this more of a sports style presentation where there's not really a lot of story. And it's just, in my honest opinion, can be cold matchups. And then WWE is this over the top production, sports entertainment, as you've heard for many years. Whereas NWA feels like something totally different, like a retro type feel, but also something that's very refreshing and different, and not, it's got storyline, but yet it's also got this very sports competitive type feel to it, especially with the way they book their mid card titles, where their mid card champions have the opportunities after they've defended their titles X amount of times. They can actually step it up and compete for the world title. Nobody else is doing that. Just little ideas like that I like about NWA.
There are definitely a lot of things that separate the NWA from other promotions, and I think that's another reason why I much prefer the NWA. You're not
Yeah.
seeing some of these concepts that you stated, i.e., the
Hmm.
Lucky Seven rule.
Hmm.
Um, and there are some cold matches, but there are some continuations of stories or building stories. And
Always purpose of these cold matches, at least in NWA, like somebody new starting out, trying to um, get just try to kind of be recognized over other talent, and trying to I don't know, just newer talent. Everything seems fresh, even if it's a cold match. It's fresh talent facing each other, whereas WWE and AEW, you may see the same damn matchups every damn week. Especially WWE used to be the world's worst at it. They'd book the same matches every single week, man. So it just feels like there's just this roster is like ridiculously large, even though it may not be, because he some of these people may be under contract with NWA, but then some of these people are just independent contractors with talents they just bring in, and if they catch fire, then and they get over huge with the crowd, then there's a good chance you're going to see them again on NWA.
mhm. I mean, there's definitely one talent that I honestly would like to see more often on the NWA Power. That would be Mr. Hollywood James.
Yeah, and I shared that on our Facebook page. He's in a big match with Jacob Ashworth in the promotion Anarchy. Um, and that promotion has been around the state of Georgia forever. They do all their shows at the Landmark Arena. Very, very popular destination as far as independent wrestling fans go. There's been a lot of big independent matches and shows at that arena. But yeah, I noticed that. I said, "Damn, that's Hollywood." He's facing Jacob Ashworth, a guy I covered for years on the Georgia independent scene. And then, if you notice in the main event of that indie poster for Anarchy, you have Jedias, who, like I said, is the Anarchy champion. He's the Southern Fried champion and the Southern Honor champion. This guy has won every major belt in the state of Georgia. But we'll talk about him in a little bit.
Mhm. But we got to move on, dude. We've been fucking pissing away time.
All right, let's do it.
All right, match number 2, Natalia Markova and Brian Idol, the looks that kill, versus the power couple, Camille and Tom Latimer. A rematch
Mm-hmm.
from about 2 or 3 weeks ago on Power.
Yep.
And I gotta say, this match, yeah, definitely was the match of the night. This is the one where the crowd got really kind of behind it and really into it.
Yeah, I would say this would probably be my match of the night as well. This is a good little street fight between the two. I remember when I heard this match announced, it made me wonder, like, well, damn, I guess this might be the last time we see Camille on NWA Power. With this being one of the last shows of the year, um, there's a good chance this is her last match with Camille.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to kind of see this again. And then
Right.
as it started going, I was like, okay, I take that back. I really do. And I just sunk into it. And I was just like, damn, this is really good.
Well, wasn't it refreshing and nice to see? And I love the TV studio atmosphere. Like I said, I went to the tapings. It's a load of fun, but it was fun this week to see them in an actual arena and to see them brawl all over the arena and a lot more people than usual, a bigger crowd. I thought that really brought the match up and made the match seem even better than it actually was. Because they were brawling in the crowd, they were throwing each other off stages. You saw choke slams off stage. You saw, I mean, it was a nice little brawl. It was a nice little, what was the official match called? Was it a
It was
pinfall?
just a street fight.
Okay, it was just a street fight. Yeah, and it was a good street fight, man. I liked it.
Yeah, it was. And to turn back to your point of the different atmosphere feel, I'm going to give a shout out to the Alliance blog Discord where they actually had talked about that. And they stated it was some of the people were like, yeah, it was a different but nice feel to the show. The crowd was lively and it just gave it a different atmosphere and it felt refreshing.
Absolutely, yeah. And the ending, giving her that win against Camille was huge because she has fought Camille probably a million times
And had never picked up a victory ever.
never ever picked up a victory. And that's the way you do it when you leave a company. You put somebody over, and my hat's off to Camille for doing that.
Shit, my hat's off to everyone in this match.
Yep. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Natalia and Brian, they looked amazing. Tom and Camille, they looked amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite spot was, well, I got three of them. I have three favorite spots.
Mhm.
When Camille and Tom get pushed into the barricade, and then Natalia goes for the crossbody on both of them against the
Oh
barricade.
yeah,
That was a good spot. The avalanche, that's what I usually call it.
Mhm.
When Brian goes to suplex Tom, then Camille goes to backdrop Brian, and then Markova goes and power bombs Camille. Everyone goes down. That was very well done.
To me, she looked like the star in this match, and that gives her a lot of momentum going forward in that women's division.
Mhm.
It kind of gives her hell, like, look, I've beat the women's champion who's held the title for over 400 days. Or no, it might have been over that. I can't remember how long she's held it. Forever.
I got your back, sister.
Yeah. Yeah, she held it forever. So with her getting the win over Camille, she can be kind of topic of discussion on top contenders for that, either the television title or the women's world title.
Yeah, you were kind of way off on that 400 days there, bud.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of 4 years.
Yeah, no, not even
No.
that.
Oh God.
June 6th, 2021. So
Wow.
812 days when she lost it on August 27th.
That's unbelievable.
Just a little bit outside the top. Just a little
Well,
bit.
I knew she'd held it forever. As soon as I said it, I corrected myself. Like, oh, wait a minute, it's probably way over 400 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's still the same vein of she held the title for a very long time, something you really don't see that often.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, she's still a dominant force within the women's division. So picking up a victory against her is kind of a feather in the cap, per se.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I did a lot for her. I know, they've, like I said, I don't know how many matches they've had. I don't think she's ever pinned Camille. I don't know how many times Camille has been really pinned. Maybe once or now twice.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's been very, very few amount of times that she has been beat.
Yes.
So, but Camille goes to spear Markova, instead spears Tom, and Markova and Brian Idol pick up the victory.
Yeah. That was a good match.
Yeah, it was.
And Camille, yeah, it sucks she's leaving NWA, but great way to go out and put over a rival who you've had many, many matches with in the past.
Mm-hmm.
NWA wrestling fans, Kyle Davis here, backstage, joined by the NWA World Tag Team Champions and accompanied by the manager of champions, Aaron Stevens himself. It is Blunt Force Trauma, BFT, and you have been on a tear. And in 2 weeks, the former NWA United States Tag Team Champions, the Fixers, they get an opportunity to take these championship titles.
2 weeks, hardly enough time to prepare. Yes, the Fixers, they are former United States Tag Team Champions, and Fixers have been on a bit of a roll as of late. But how are you going to face the unstoppable train? See, in the NWA, damage is defined as the faceless stare of domination.
Pain.
The only identity that Carnage truly has is the ruins that lay at his feet when he gets through doing what he does as only he can do it.
Decimation.
You see, all of you dirt sheet for brains that like to go and wonder why they wear masks, it is simply because they don't want what they do to reflect on their families. We'll do anything to keep the titles. We beat Knox and Murdoch 3 times. 3. Count them. 1, 2, 3 times. What team in the business has done that? None except the greatest tag team in the world today. I've said it time, again, and I'll say it one more time. You can run, you can hide, call your daddy, call your mama, but you cannot stop the unstoppable train of a Blunt Force Trauma.
All right, well, we're going to move on to promo number 2. It was EC3, the Overman.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little hard to hear EC3 at times due to the music in the background. Or was it just
get
my...
a bit better on the editing on that, maybe lowering the music down when they do those styles of promos.
Yeah, because I was like, I couldn't really hear him very well, so I had to watch it back like 2 or 3 times. But EC3 was originally challenged by Matt Cardona in the prior episode of Powerrr to a death match at Paranoia.
Yes, I cannot wait for this match.
And then he declines the match. Well, should say the match type. But then asks for an ultimate match of death. So, and
like, what are you talking about, EC3? What you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah. It's like he was just one-upping Matt Cardona.
Yeah, it was
like, oh, you want a death match? Well, I want an ultimate death match.
I was like, okay. It's just like, you do you, boo.
Either way, yeah. Either way, it's going to be a really, really good match. And it's, oh, man, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm not the world's biggest Matt Cardona fan, but
I like his indie run, his indie god run. It's the Overman versus the indie god. I don't mind it. I didn't like his Zack Ryder shit in WWE that much, but I like him as a heel. He plays it. He's a great heel. He's just a natural heel, I feel like.
Yeah, I do have to agree with that. He definitely is a better heel, and EC3 is much better as a babyface.
He's the cool babyface. Yeah.
He's the cool babyface. He's really good at, I will say this, he's better at being a heel, but he's really good at both.
Yeah, if you can be really good at a heel, you can be a really good babyface most of the time.
So, but we're going to move on to our main event of the evening. This episode was actually kind of relatively short, not going to lie. But
it was not an hour long.
I mean,
at the runtime, it was like
42 minutes.
Yeah, 42 minutes.
Yeah, but they've only got 3 matches and basically 3 promos in here, because you had before the match the Southern Six. They're coming out and they're talking. Alex Taylor on the mic. Yeah, I could definitely use some more of this.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good on the mic. Kerry Morton, God, I just want to rip that dude's head off.
So
And that's the point. But
here's my notes.
Yeah.
The Southern Six is in town, and there's always a chance of some snow. Keep Father James
oh
Mitchell
wow,
away.
they went there.
AT laying it down about the women in Sarasota, and literally this is my notes. And then Kerry Morton started speaking, and I tuned out.
God, he's just like okay, this is a great reference since it is Christmas time. Have you ever seen Christmas Story? You'll shoot your eye out?
Nope, I have not.
Christ. Guess I'm really old.
Yeah,
There is
you
a
are.
movie called The Christmas Story where this kid wants a Red Ryder BB gun. Everybody keeps telling him,
yeah.
no,
I know what you're talking about
you'll
now.
shoot your eye out. Okay, well, in the movie, there's these two bullies. There's this one kid who's big and he's nasty. He's got red freckles all over his face, and he's just he's an asshole. He's a total asshole. Well, he has this little buddy, and that's fucking Kerry Morton. You know what I'm saying? Thrillbilly is the big fucking bully. And then you have this little fucking pipsqueak Kerry Morton. Like, yeah, you tell him, Thrillbilly. Yeah. It's that kind of shit. And I'm like, God damn it. Somebody just fucking knock this kid's fucking head off, please.
Oh my God, that's great. That's great.
So I'm watching this and I hear that this match is happening. And I'm like, fuck yes. They're finally, the Southern Six are going to quit facing underneath guys. And they're facing, three other top guys. And we're actually going to get a fucking competitive 6-man tag. I was like, we're actually going to see somebody who can match fucking Thrillbilly on the beef fucking side. You know what I'm saying? With Jedias, I was like, oh my God, yes. I was excited. And I almost kind of thought that maybe, and maybe not so much after watching this match, that they would be kind of maybe gearing towards a Jedias and Thrillbilly match, which I didn't even know I wanted to see until this match was announced. Then when I saw that match, I'm like, man, I just want to see those two one-on-one. That would be great. But go ahead and continue on.
Well, hey, just because it might not happen now doesn't mean it won't happen later.
Right.
I'm in the same boat with you. I want to see a Judas versus Thrillbilly Silas Mason match.
Yeah.
You want to talk about two big men throwing missiles.
Yes.
And we'll get into that later, but my God.
Yeah. It's a nice little interview here with the Southern Six. And, Davis brings up something, the interviewer, about how he doesn't understand why they're the Southern Six when there's only 3 of them. And that is something I also wondered a number of weeks back. Like, I started thinking, why are they called the Southern Six? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they got 3 more members to add, maybe?
Or maybe they already do, and they're just not really that important, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just always thought that was always interesting to me. But they're a great 3-man team. They do have a lot of chemistry together. I thought it was a little odd to have 2 heel teams face each other, which commentary even brought up, talking about how the fans were confused on who to cheer for. But at the same time, it's one of those, when you do hear about it, when I heard about this main event this week, I was generally excited because, like I said, Southern Six is finally facing somebody who doesn't feel like underneath talent. We're getting a closer matchup, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I when it was first announced last week, I was like, okay, this should be interesting.
Yeah, and of course I was most excited about seeing Jedias and Thrillbilly tearing it up. But also I wanted to see Jedias just destroy Kerry Morton as well. I will
definitely say, though, the unsung hero of this match was Sal.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he was just fantastic. But I'm going to tread back because I forgot a little something. Father James then came out and was on the mic.
I love this.
The Southern Six talked a big game, but they felt comfortable around their kind. Simple, uneducated
Red.
rednecks.
Yes. I think
Uh,
he just explained a good portion of wrestling fans sometimes.
and then Alex was given a little bit of a history lesson from NWA
Oh, yeah.
74.
Ew, yeah, that was all over online.
I know, I saw that and I saw the spot. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, brutal.
And then once again, Father James, I swear, this man,
He was killing it on the mic tonight, wasn't he?
not even that. He definitely did really well, but Father James is really into the illicit substances. He offered Kyle Davis a little bit of an herbal remedy, if you will, baby.
Yes.
And Kyle's like, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah. He's like, oh man, oh, I'm good.
But then they go to commercial break and the match starts. Sal and Kerry started off. Sal offers a little bit of a handshake to Kerry, but Kerry then kicks his hand. Sal gets whipped into the ropes and does sort of a monkey roll and just starts stomping the shit out of Kerry. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
Kept waving towards the crowd as well.
I know. I loved that. He was just like, hey, how's it going? Hi, everybody. Dude, Sal, like I said, Sal was the unsung hero of this match, and I was 100% for it.
I've covered him for years in Southern Fried, in the state of Georgia. He's a big name in the state of Georgia, and Jedias and Alex Taylor. A lot of these talents in this match.
Let's see here. Alex gets tagged in, gets a little bit of a stomp to him, and then Gags gets tagged in. I did like the little sneak attack from Kerry Morton, and then Alex Taylor giving Gags a little bit of the knees to the spine, taking the wind out of him.
Yes.
The massive thing that I really noticed is how fluid the Southern Six worked as a team. It was constantly tags in and out,
Right.
in and out, in and out, rotating.
Yeah, they worked better as a team, and as well as they should, because if you remember, Sal and Gags are kind of like they're having to work for James Mitchell. They don't really want to be there, or that's the way they're making it out to be after the results of Salwin, where they have no other choice but to work for James Mitchell.
Yeah, but they seemed very comfortable and very happy to be there.
They did. I did notice that. It's almost like he has a spell on them now. But let's talk about one of my favorite spots of the match was when Gags unzips the mouth part and then the tongue comes out.
Oh, yeah, after you hit code red.
Yeah, then he gets the fucking... Who was it that grabs the tongue away? Was it Jedias?
No, Thrubilly. Thrubilly grabs
Thrubilly,
Gags'
that's right,
tongue.
right. And I was like, oh, God, he just grabbed his tongue.
Yeah, that spot definitely got me to pop. The hell was it? Sal getting caught after attempting a 619 on Thrillbilly and gets hit with a sidewalk slam. AT tried to go for a superplex and get a little bit of revenge on Sal, but gets bit for his troubles.
Yeah.
That was like, ow, 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 ow. But then the moment of the match, Jedias and Thrillbilly are in, and
what everybody's waiting on.
My God. Like I stated, two men just throwing fucking missiles at one another. The clothesline to Thrillbilly looked brutal.
It did. But when Jedias, like, man, he was giving it right back to him. Like, there was points in the match where it was like the first time that I'd really ever seen Thrillbilly kind of bump around for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we've watched him sail in plenty of matches or whatever. I'm not saying that he's not a good seller. I'm saying, like, the way he was kind of bumping all over the ring for Jedias for a little bit. But it got me very excited to see a potential title match with Jedias and Thrillbilly.
Yeah. And, dude, the choke slam that Jedias delivered to Thrillbilly.
Yeah.
I've never seen Thrillbilly that high up in the air.
That's what I'm
ever.
saying. That's it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is he's just bumping around for the dude. I was
Yeah,
like, whoa! I didn't know he could bump that good.
yeah, he was flying around like the ragdoll for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Kerry and AT break up Judias's pin.
Yep.
Judias gets put into a power bomb and reverses it, and then just takes all three of them out.
Yes.
Big boots Thrillbilly, slams AT, fucking launches Kerry Morton.
Oh, I love that part.
But another spot that was impressive was Alex lifting Judias.
Yes. I was like, dude, I didn't know this guy had this much power, and I've watched him for years. 5 minutes from my house in AWF. Didn't had no idea he could do that. Could
Yeah.
pick up Jedias like that. Jedias is a very, very large man.
Yeah, I can only imagine like seeing him in person. He has got to be massive.
He is.
I gotta clear out Facebook. Shut the fuck up. I'm just here.
Oh, it's so annoying. I hate it too.
I'm on my computer.
No.
But Sal attempts to go high risk and gets caught. AT finally gets his revenge on Sal after almost 2 years.
Yes.
Or a year and a half, I should say.
Yeah.
My bad. And then, Gags hits code red, then gets his tongue caught by Thrillbilly,
Mhm.
and then goes for the thrill ride.
Oh my God, yes. I love that finisher.
Dude, if I ever got caught in the thrill ride, I'd be barfing all over Silent
Okay,
Man.
right? It's like so I've seen Baron Corbin do this move before, but it never lasts as long as this. Is what I love about the move and how he just keeps going. It's almost like the swing in a way.
Oh yeah, the deep six. That's what Baron Corbin calls it.
Yeah. But the way Thrillbilly does it is just it's more exaggerated and lasts longer, and it's more of a high spot for the crowd to get excited about.
I wouldn't even call it a high spot because if you think about it, you're getting spun around. That's gonna fuck with you, and then you get slammed. You're just all sorts of discombobulated. So
Right.
yeah, it clearly we've seen it's a very, very effective finisher, and it has not failed Thrillbilly at all.
No, and this was pretty awesome. This got me excited, like I said, for potential Thrillbilly and Jedias matchup. I think that's probably what I was most excited about. Now I'm getting a bunch of Facebook notifications.
Stop it.
I know. Fucking Facebook.
Oh, Christ almighty. Well, that's the end of NWA Power.
Well, it
And
was a
we
good
still-
episode this week.
Yeah, it was. And we still have a shit ton of time to go over some things.
Okay.
So, last week, I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of Robarts because they did in the Heavenly Butterflies and Daisy Kill and Talos match. They did talk a little bit about the history of Robarts with the NWA and Championship Wrestling from Florida.
Yes.
That match was the first match in the Robarts Arena for the NWA since November 14th, 1987.
Wow.
And the matches that night, and ironically, the match that closed this out, that taping out, which was the United States World Tag Team Champions, or United States Tag Team Championship match, was the opener for the November 14th, 1987 show at the Robarts Arena. That match was the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane versus Rex King and Mike Graham.
Old school.
With the Midnight Express picking up the victory.
Of course, because Midnight Express were a tough team to beat back in the day, especially with Corny in their
corner.
Yes, sorry. Jim Cornette, man, I know he left NWA a while back, But if there was any way they could get him to come back, oh my God, please.
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to be an easy pickup, especially with how he departed the
Yes.
NWA.
Oh, that was, oh, gosh, that was ridiculous.
Well, that's what
I don't think
happens
it
when
was
you say shit on air you shouldn't say.
well, it's corny. Come on, he didn't mean anything bad from it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But there was only 3 matches on this house show, or I should say like live event. The NWA Western States Heritage Heavyweight Championship was also on the line. Barry Windham versus Dory Funk Jr.
That's a classic matchup.
They went to a 20-minute limit draw.
Yeah, I feel like matches back in the day didn't have as many decisions as they do now because, just building the talent up and not wanting anybody to lose. You saw a lot of DQs and a lot of time limit draws back then, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I feel like time limit draws, there are certain matches where it is 110% necessary. And then there are other matches you're like, you could have gave me a clear and decisive victor. I would have been okay with that. I don't care who it was, but a draw,
Yeah.
time and place for it.
Well, as a kid growing up watching wrestling in the especially NWA and WCW, which kind of became the same thing after a while, you got a ton of those finishes. And then whereas WWE, you may have seen a lot of more DQs and count out wins and stuff. But with NWA, WCW back in the day, you had a lot of those finishes, time limit draws. And like I said, necessarily not a bad thing, especially when building talent. But as a kid, you're like, I want to see my favorite wrestler win the match, or I just want to see some kind of like decisive outcome.
Yeah, granted, I never grew up in that time period, so I never really saw that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could definitely understand that feeling of like you want that clear and decisive victor as a child of like I want to see my favorite person win. I don't want to see him fucking tie.
Yeah. But that just builds more story for their next matchup, and it just it builds up to the next matchup because the viewer, the audience member, yourself, you're wanting to see, like you said, your favorite wrestler finally get his comeuppance. Just like we talked about with the Mims match from earlier. NWA has a very old school way of booking some of these matches, which I do like. You do get a lot of decisive victories in WWE and AEW and other promotions now. And then it's just like, oh, I don't want to see that match anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's necessarily it's a good thing that we have so many decisive victories these days without building it up first.
Yeah, I can definitely get that sentiment of getting the decisive victory. And, as I stated, draws are a necessary evil, but it has to fit the story. Otherwise, if you're just throwing them willy-nilly, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But exactly. Well, before we get off here this week night, and let's talk about maybe some of the stuff we got coming up. We talked about doing a kind of a special show for a Christmas show. I don't know if we're going to have time to do the Christmas show now because of my illness. But we do want to do a big show coming up. We want to have some talents on from NWA and really build that show up and have a good time on it. And hopefully I'll be at 100% instead of like at 65, 70% tonight.
Well, hey, I will say this. Despite you being at a lower percentage of feeling well, you still did a pretty damn good job.
Thank you, sir.
So it's better than some people we know.
Yeah,
Dropping hammers, baby. I'm dropping hammers.
yeah, he's very inconsistent. I don't know if he'll be on the show anymore. Oh, I just
Oh,
there.
spaghetti. Oh,
Oh, sorry about that. Not really sorry.
oh, Christ Almighty! Yeah, I
No,
think.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
God damn it! Will you give me a second, pal?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting back used to things. I mean, I got to get back in the swing of everything.
I think definitely doing like a New Year's Eve special, or not a New Year's Eve special, but a week of the New Year special, and getting some talent on, getting their opinions of, hey, what do you want to accomplish in 2024? What do you want to see in 2024? This, and this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be fun, and I can definitely get a couple of guests. I can attempt to get the Alliance blog on and see if they want to shoot the shit with us for a little bit. If not, that's fine. They're doing their own thing. That's another group of people. If your NWA is your thing, or just wrestling in general, check them out. They're very, very good. I enjoy watching their stuff. So
Yeah, I'll have to. I haven't even checked their stuff out yet, but I will now.
yeah, they usually do live shows on YouTube once a week. So check them out. They do a multitude of interviews.
2024. That's the big year for us coming up. We will be going to a video format pretty soon, and like I said, having some people on from the NWA roster who have already expressed interest in coming on. I know I say it almost every week. We should have invited Kara on this week, and Kara would have been on, but with me just trying to get back in the swing of things, and we're just trying to put out an episode this week. It was not a good week to have any guest on this week. So, but 2024 is a big year for us. We will be going to video format, having wrestlers on, and I'm really excited. We're gonna have some independent stars on as well, and shoot the shit with them and see if we can't see if there's any interest in bringing some of these indie guys I've been following for years, who would make great additions to NWA.
I'm all for it, dude. Giving someone an opportunity and getting them a little bit of a showcase. Yeah, I'm all for it, dude.
We also want to be very, very interactive, and we toyed with it last episode with the caller show. Once we get everything kind of set there, we will be having a portion of the show where somebody can call in, talk about whatever they want to, NWA related, and we'll shoot the shit and talk to them. Very interactive show.
Yeah, that
it's okay. If it's somebody like Brody who called in last week, we can just hang up on him.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's over here talking about NWA getting advertising dollars from Viagra or something like that. It was something along those lines.
that was stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid.
But is there anything else you'd like to discuss? Because we still got like fucking about 10 minutes left.
Not really. I'm just excited about 2024, man, and really growing the podcast. And if you're listening to this podcast, please do us a favor and share it with your friends or anybody else that's interested in NWA, or maybe they don't have the time to watch NWA Powerrr and they can catch up and know what's going on in NWA by just listening to our podcast. I know there for a while, for me, when I could not watch Monday Night Raw anymore, I would just listen to a podcast, a review show like this one about Monday Night Raw. That way I didn't have to sit through all those damn 3-hour shows with all those commercials. And one thing I really love about NWA, and I've said it over and over again, is this show flies by. Give it a chance. If you're listening to this and you're like, NWA, I might watch that. It actually sounds pretty interesting. Please give it a chance, because it is less. It's like an hour or less, and it flies by. You'll be watching and you'll be like, wait, that's it? And it's just very digestible and easy to watch. You're not having to invest 2 or 3 hours of your time. There's not a bunch of commercials, not a bunch of advertisement. So, go out of your way. It's free to watch. It's right there on YouTube. NWA Powerrr, Tuesday nights at 6:05.
Oh, look at you being a plug man. Damn.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, dude. Oh, we can't top that.
Well, no,
Fuck.
I wasn't expecting you to.
Well, no, I'm saying we can't top that.
Oh, no, we can't.
Might as well just fucking call it here,
Oh.
dude.
Hey, here's the.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and I've got this. This is something I've been wanting to debut. Okay, all right. Hold your ears just a little bit.
No.
No, my sound machine. Oh,
No.
okay. So it's more like this. That's your reaction, isn't it?
Oh my fucking! I hate you sometimes. I really do. You know that?
Well, hey, get our people to stay plugged on the Facebook page and X and Instagram, because we'll have the guest lineup for the special coming up.
Dude, I fucking hate using Twitter.
It's X now.
It's still fucking Twitter to me, dude.
I don't like it. I don't even use it. But hey, if that's where most of the people hang out, all the kids these days hang out on.
Don't ever act like you're 90 years old. Stop it.
I don't know. Either way, we will build up this big, enormous 2024 show, and we're gonna have plenty of guests on it. So just kind of stay on X. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Stay on X, IG, Facebook, any other social media platform we have out there, and we'll talk about some of the people that we're going to be bringing on for it.
Well, I look forward to it, good sir. We have finally hit our hour mark on the recording.
All right, buddy. Hey, you stay safe and don't get this flu stuff. It's pretty damn bad.
Fuck, I already got it like 3 weeks ago. I'm good.
Oh, man. So dehydrated. Oh, okay. One last really funny story. Hold on. It's really funny. You're going to laugh your ass off.
If I don't laugh my ass off,
Okay.
I'm hanging up.
So I get to the ER and I'm dehydrated. I'm running temperature. I'm in terrible shape. Well, they're like, we got to draw some blood and do some blood work and get you on IV. Well, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I don't really like needles. And they're like, just chill out. Just turn your head. No big deal. They stick me. It doesn't hurt. But for some reason, when I see my blood drop onto the bed that I'm sitting on, I get super clammy. And I'm talking like the lights started to go out. I'm not shitting you. She had to call in 3 other nurses. And they're like, calm down. So, yeah, like I said, the lights were fixing to go out. My hands get as stiff as a freaking board. Scary as shit, man. But, yeah, the nurses got a good kick out of it, and were making fun of me probably the rest of the night. Just thought you might like that little story, that I'm a wimp when it comes to needles. And I almost passed out.
Oh, my. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not the world's biggest fan of needles. Unless if they're tattoo needles, then I am 110%.
Well, that's what they were laughing at. Like, this isn't the first time this has happened. I'm like, oh, really? There's more wimps out there like me? And she's like, yeah, most of the time it's guys with big jacked up muscles and tattoos all over their arms. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why would they get clammy over a needle when they've had their whole arm tattooed?
Yeah, no shit.
It'd be like somebody like Talos coming in there almost passing out or something. Some big dude, tattoos on his arms, and oh god, I'm about to pass out of that needle. I just saw a speck of blood. Hey, but then later I saw the nurse. She had this big bag of water, and this was like later in the night. I'm like, what's that for? She goes, oh, I filled this up to I thought we were gonna have to use it on you. And just they were gonna throw cold water on my face, dude, to get me to come to, I guess. It's like, Jesus Christ.
God. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, on that note of Trey being a giant baby about his own blood, we're gonna call it a night. So, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in to our weekly shenanigans. Hopefully Trey doesn't end up in the hospital again and I don't have to do a one-man show because
Ooh.
fuck, I don't even want to listen to myself for an hour. So we shall see everyone next week on possibly the New Year's special.
That's right.
Until we meet again, arrivederci.
Adios.